Hi, my name is Cindy Jenson-Elliott, and I am the author of this book. Whoops. The Doomsday Detective. Oh my goodness. The Doomsday Detectives. I really appreciate Boulder Books for allowing me to record this video and be with you virtually from my home in San Diego. I wrote this book about the Cretaceous extinction to help kids and adults understand how is science actually done. So this book is about science process and about the scientist's process of understanding how dinosaurs died out. So the Doomsday Detectives, how Walter and Luis Alvarez solved the mystery of dinosaur extinction, is really should be called the story of how hundreds of scientists over hundreds of years worked together to solve a science mystery. Because that's really what the dinosaurs were all about for a lot of us. How did they die out? Why don't we have them here anymore? And so this process looks at the science process of how why scientists understand that and why we understand it now today. So the story starts out in with the 1800s and how scientists first discovered that dinosaurs existed at all, and then it goes into all the science that it took for us to understand where did the dinosaurs go. So I tell the story in three different ways through graphics. So I am really a fan of graphic nonfiction and how it can help us access information that we may struggle with otherwise. So it starts out with what was the Cretaceous period like on planet Earth? And all the wonder of all the life that existed during that time before something mysteriously happened, doomsday, to end it all. So I set it up as a mystery, and then through narrative nonfiction, telling the story of scientists and how they discovered dinosaur bones and discovered these mysterious giant bones. What could they have been? And how those questions were before them, and how all science starts with an observation and a question. And I go into some of the early scientists like Mary Anning, an unappreciated female paleontologist who, because of her gender, was not able to participate in the science process as a to share her work. She had to have other people share it for her, but she was able to be just an extremely effective explorer of the earth and share her work just one-on-one with other scientists who were willing to listen to her despite her gender. Then I go into how we know what we know about how old the Earth is. Um, at the beginning of each chapter is a section that is graphic, that helps kids and helps us as adults who love to read kids' books understand how do we know what we know about the Earth? What are some of the things that people observed, asked questions about, and hypothesized about? And how did we come to prove these ideas that we have about, for example, plate tectonics? Um, Walter Alvarez, I jump into his story and the story of his family. The Alvarez family was three generations of scientists, initially from Spain, moving to Cuba and then the United States, and then how that family, exploring in the way that they loved to explore science the best, discovered all different kinds of things. The elder Alvarez was a physician. His son became a Nobel Prize winning physicist, and then the grandson Walter, who's still living today, became a geologist. And so all of them have made tremendous contributions. So I look at that family history and help kids understand that science is also a story of people. And that anybody can become a scientist and anybody can make contributions. One thing I really enjoyed about writing this book was how I was able to go to different parts of the world and explore, and also explore through during the pandemic. This book took a long time through Zoom interviews with scientists all over the world. This book took me to England, to the home of Mary Anning, to walk along the paths she had walked along the coast of England. This book took me to Denmark to see a Cretaceous site where you can see the line between the Cretaceous and the Paleogene. It took me to the Netherlands into a cave with a paleontologist where we went 45 minutes into a limestone cave that had been quarried since Roman times to see another line where the Cretaceous ended. So it was really exciting to research, really exciting to write. And I hope that it gives people an understanding of how science is a process and how we can all participate in that scientific process. So I wanted to share some other books of that I'm currently reading or recently read, also narrative nonfiction for kids. So if you're an adult and you like nonfiction, you may enjoy reading children's books as a way of delving into a topic you may not know a lot about or you may be curious about. This book, The Mona Lisa Vanishes, is narrative nonfiction about a theft from the Louvre. As we all know, that's kind of a current topic. And it's really written in such an exciting and engaging way. I just really enjoyed this book. Another book I recently read is The Wild River and the Great Dam about the making of the Hoover Dam. It goes into all different aspects of that, which is it's very exciting. It has a lot of pictures. And so I really encourage you, if you're curious about that and the making of the dam and how we have water in the West, as we know, this is an issue for all of us, from you in Colorado to me in California. So this is again by Simon Boughton. It's a fabulous narrative nonfiction book for young people. Let's see. One thing I learned in the making of my book that really surprised me, I had scientists look over all of my work. Every single chapter, a different scientist would read it, comment on it, help me with corrections that if I needed to make corrections. And one correction I needed to make was the sound dinosaurs made, most likely. So there's a scientist who studies bioacoustics. And so he was looking at the structure of dinosaur skulls and dinosaur fossils and mentioned that my the growling sound or the roaring sound that we all kind of in movies T-Rex makes was probably not how he sounded. It probably sounded more like a hunting horn. So I had to change in the graphics, change the sound that dinosaurs made to make sure that actually was accurate. Another aspect of my research included, historical weather research. What was the weather like on a particular day and a particular time in order to be able to add in those details as nonfiction that's not made up. All that stuff had to be looked up and verified. So those are some of the things that I learned and that I really enjoyed learning in the process of writing this book. Um, read you a short passage from my book. Um, I hope this book inspires you to really get into the process of science. I start out the book with just a guide to science practices. What are the science processes and practices that scientists use and that we all use on a day-to-day basis when we're discovering new information? I'll read you a little of the graphic section. Time, Cretaceous period, 66 million years ago. I hope you can see that. It looks a little blurry. We call the Cretaceous period the age of discovery, of the age of dinosaurs, but it was really the age of life. Scaled and feathered, fuzzy and furry, budding, blooming, pollinating, zooming, buzzing, glorious life. During the late Cretaceous period, the Earth exploded with a magnificent variety of plants and animals, dinosaurs, flying and marine reptiles, birds, insects, and even the first small mammals. So by the end of the book, I am talking to scientists who are discovering why did we end up with mammals, so many mammals, and why did some animals survive the Cretaceous extinction, just a very few, and a lot not. And a scientist who's looking at the time of year that the extinction happened, which is important to that. So anyway, I'm really happy to be here. I hope that you enjoy reading this book. And thank you so much, Boulder Books, for allowing me to be here with you. Bye.